Dear students, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel once again. In last video, we discussed about the causes, consequences and remedies of overpopulation, and today's video focuses on causes, consequences and remedies of deforestation. Before I begin, let me remind you, one question is frequently asked in the examination, that is, do you think the world scientist, do you think Moti Nissani is optimistic or pessimistic about the global challenges, that is overpopulation and deforestation, the global challenges, environmental problems seen in the world? Yes, the answer to this question here we have in the text itself. It is said, somewhere it is written in the line, yet there is a bright side to this otherwise grim tale. That means the scientists believe that it is not impossible to control population. Population can be controlled. It's in our hand. Yes, what is required is we need to have determination, we need to have consciousness, we need to have strong, willpower. If we all, every individual, not only government, if every individual is conscious and is committed to control, it can be possible. It is possible. They are optimistic because they bring the history before us. They bring the examples of German and Swedish population, and then the writers presents the condition of China, Thailand and Egypt. The population of these countries that has been considerably controlled. And how is that possible? How was that possible? Of course, the government had a strong, enforcement of law. Laws are made, but they should be implemented. They should be, strictly enforced into practical life, and then only there can be, achievement. So the strict law by the government against the number of children means there should be a provision how many children can a couple have. That kind of law, strict law, and then easily available means of family planning, contraceptive. Modernization is another reason. Modernization means not only developing ourselves, changing our concept as well. Bringing change in concept means no discrimination between sons and daughters. You can say gender inequality should be abolished. That was abolished, and then the government created created different kinds of awareness programs, awareness campaigns. Several campaigns are responsible factors. Then women empowerment, then equality means gender equality. Yes, all these things, all these factors, they helped these countries control the population, and that can be adopted, that can be followed by different countries where population is really in critical condition. The population has really burst out. These countries also can adopt the following these measures already. The countries like China, Thailand and Egypt, they adopted and they proved. So seeing the condition of these countries and others, the writer Moti Nissani and of course the scientists of the world, they sound optimistic. They feel that this can be done. So now we are going to talk on deforestation. You know very well what is deforestation. Yes, the damage of destruction of trees, cutting down the trees, chopping the trees unnecessarily, randomly, that is called deforestation. And the first major cause of deforestation, of course, is overpopulation. When the population rises, we need more land for settlement, more land for agriculture, and we cannot extend land according to our need. Therefore, what we do? We start destroying the trees. So overpopulation is one of the root causes of almost all the problems we are facing today in the world, and deforestation is one of the results of overpopulation. So overpopulation first, and then the second one is production of paper. Paper production, we know that papers are made of plants, and the number of New York Times, in America, yes, the newspapers, the number of newspapers produced, right, that leads to the destruction of forest. And then wooden furniture, the demand of wooden furniture, maximum, the demand of wooden furniture, that leads to the destruction of forest. Similarly, poverty is one of another reason in developing countries. In poor countries, poor countries or developing countries where the literacy rate still is very poor, consciousness level is still very low, these countries, they depend on the plants, they depend on the trees, they go to the forest, they illegally they cut down the trees, they sell the firewood, this kind of thing. Illegally they enter, and because it is all because of poverty, they are not able to. Then again, in many countries, in many villages, in remote areas, there is no access of LPG gas, hydroelectricity. Electricity is not there available, means it is not affordable. Electricity and LPG gas, because they are not affordable to the poor people, they depend on the firewood, and that is also one of the reasons, you can say, poverty. Then hamburgers, a kind of what we call a sandwich made up of the beef means beef, that is that the meat of the oxen, the meat of the cow, which is used for making hamburgers. And there is high demand of hamburgers in the European countries, and to satisfy the Europeans' hunger for hamburgers, in Brazil, more and more tropical rainforests are cleared, means rainforests are destroyed to convert into pasture land, so that the more and more animals like cow and oxen, they can be grazed. The grazing for grazing the animals, for grazing the cattle, the land, the forests are destroyed and they are converted into grassland. Means that is also one of the reasons of you can say deforestation. And similarly, illiteracy of course is one of the main reasons. And now let's talk about the results of the effects of, you can say, consequences of deforestation. Of course, the consequences of deforestation to the countries like mountainous countries like for Nepal, there is always the high chance of landslides. Then there is the danger of flood. Every year the flood kills and kills thousands of people and damages properties. Every year in Bangladesh, in India, there is always the high risk of flood. Flood is one of the results, one of the consequences of deforestation, landslides, desertification, and then you can say soil erosion, and then of course biospheric problem or environmental problems, they are still there. We have already discussed in the previous classes. Now, solutions. These are not possible, the problems are there, but these problems are not impossible to be solved. Means they can be solved, and the remedies are of course available there. First, one of the solutions is population control. We need to control the population. The way we control population, the way the number of population, the number of people decreases, there will naturally be control in the deforestation also can be itself controlled. So what can be done for population control? Of course, media campaigns. We have already seen the examples of China, Thailand, and Egypt. Media campaign, equality, that sons and daughters means both male and female, they should be given equal opportunities, equal political, social, economic, all sectors, they should have equal participation. Then tax can be imposed upon wooden products and paper products. Afforestation and reforestation means the land which is useless, the land which has remained unused for several years, for a long time, that such land should be utilized, and reforestation can be done, afforestation can be done. Then there should be the substitution for firewood in the villages. In many villages still it is of course outdated. I repeat again, the essay is, the information, the details we have in the essay, they are outdated because this is the data is old, and therefore we can say there has been some changes, some positive and negative, both changes can be seen at present comparing to, but we have this text and therefore we depend on the text. Substitution for firewood in the villages means LPG gas, then electricity should be made so cheaper. The electricity should be made so cheaper, the LPG gas should be made so cheaper that the people they stop themselves. They themselves stop using firewood, because to collect firewood they need to spend time in villages. The time they consume, the time they spend for collecting firewood can be utilized for other creative works, for education, gaining education, and so on. Then reward and punishment system. The reward and punishment system should be very effectively effectively implemented. Those who shape the trees, the community forest, the community, the group of people, they protect the forest, the trees, they should be appreciated, they should be encouraged through rewards, and those who are found illegally cutting, destroying the trees, they should be punished. So these things can be done for control of deforestation, and we can conclude the essay with the statement that the writers and the scientists, they all try to expand, they all try to share, they all try to give a message that population has to be minimized and number of trees must go up if we want to maintain beauty and balance in the world, in the nature. So वैज्ञानिकहरूले हैन यो एसेमा मोती निसानीले यो एसेमा के भन्न खोजेका छन् भने पपुलेसन जबसम्म पपुलेसन कन्ट्रोल हुँदैन, हाम्रो यो इन्भाइरोमेन्टल, हाम्रो वातावरणको समस्या, सामाजिक समस्या, राजनीतिक समस्या, यी समस्याहरू यथावत नै रहनेछन्। समस्याहरू जटिल छन् र यी समस्याहरूको समाधान सजिलो छैन, सहज छैन, इम्पोसिबल चाहिँ छैन, असम्भव चाहिँ छैन, सम्भव छ। राइटरले मोती निसानीले के भनेका छन्, येट, म फेरि लाइन रिपिट गर्छु, येट देयर इज अ ब्राइट साइड टु दिस अदरवाइज ग्रीम टेल। मतलब समस्या छ तर असम्भव छैन, समस्या समाधान गर्न सकिन्छ। कसरी? चाइनाको एक्जाम्पल लिन सक्छौँ हामी। चाइनामा, थाइल्यान्डमा, इजिप्टमा राइटरले एक्जाम्पल दिएका छन् कि चाइना, थाइल्यान्ड र इजिप्टले पपुलेसन कन्ट्रोल गर्यो कि गरेन? गरिसकेको छ। यस, यदि तिनीहरूले गर्न सक्छन् भने हामी किन गर्न सक्दैनौँ? मिन्स द डेभलपिङ कन्ट्रिज, हैन, डेभलपिङ कन्ट्रिजहरू जो विकास उन्मुख देशहरू छन्, अझ पनि विकास हुन बाँकी नै छ, त्यो देशहरूमा पनि यस्ता यस्ता प्रोग्रामहरू, कन्ससनेस, हैन, चेतनामूलक कार्यक्रमहरू ल्याएर, हैन, भेदभाव जुन छ, छोरा र छोरीको बिचको भेदभाव जुन छ, हैन, यो यसलाई अन्त गरेर, हैन, हामी गर्न सक्छौँ। हामी विश्वमा, हैन, यो विश्वलाई, यो धरतीलाई, यो पृथ्वीलाई बर्बाद हुनबाट हामी बचाउन सक्छौँ, सुरक्षा गर्न सक्छौँ। हामीले आउँदो पुस्तालाई, हाम्रो आउने जेनेरेसनलाई हामी के दिने? हामी यही समस्याले भरिएको धरती दिने, समस्याले भरिएको वातावरण को समस्यादेखि लिएर डिजास्टर्स, हैन, प्रकोपहरू, प्राकृतिक प्रकोपहरूले भरिएको पृथ्वी दिने, संसार दिने? That is not the way. So let's have too many trees, too few people. That is the reverse situation. That is all in the essay. Thank you very much. We shall be meeting in another videos. Best of luck.